which is these two things. I remember when we were in, but where did we go? Reno. We were saying that it seemed like the market was the long move was fuck, there was an exact word I remember using. Oh, we said the buying was drying up like on a long term. Just looking at these candles here, it kind of you could kind of see that like the moves weren't as large as these kind of moves here. So like that's kind of a sign of like buyers kind of drying up. And then when I seen that video that Aristotle released talking about this wedge and how this broke and then when it popped up to retest, dude, this idea here made me realize how like I need to just slow down on my overall approach of the market where like I feel like I was approaching the market trying to take a trade every day to make money rather than coming into the market trying to look for my A plus setup every day. Like instead of coming into the market trying to make money every day, I need to come into the market looking for my A plus setup every day. And if it's not there, then just step away. And just thinking of this here, because I was like, damn, if like I would have not traded these 1, 2, which I didn't. But if you just didn't trade these 3 days and just waited for this retest up here, you could have caught like a super nice short where not taking
Aristotle,
these 3 days make complete sense.
yeah, Aristotle called that pullback perfectly. That drop
Yeah. And what I loved about the
perfectly.
video is how he gave every kind of situation that could have happened. He was like, it could keep dropping, it could
Yeah,
stall for a bit, then drop, or it could pop up and then pull back. When he said that, like, I don't know, there's just the way he shared that information, I was like, I need to slow down with how I'm approaching the market. Um, and I think that is like super like one of the main things I need to focus on. Um, but also there's something else. Um, oh yeah, the structure of where you're taking the trades themselves is also very important. For example, this past week or our if you look here, just looking at the chart alone, you could see that this 3 hour demand is super important based off of it was previous resistance popped up and then when it came back to test this zone that had been created previously, I think before it was like a 4 hour demand. When it came back, this large push up off of it, when it came back to retest it again, that makes this level super important just based off of the structure because of the kind of takeoff it took. And then look, for sure, it just stalled here 2 times already. But then looking at the upside, where's the important resistance zone? I would say it's this 4 hour here because right here it held as it was resistance, and then right here it held as support, came back down, somewhat of support here. So now looking at say this was Sunday, I think, or Monday. No, this was Thursday when the market came down here, looking at the upside, if you're looking for where's the next important level to look at as far as supply, that makes this 4 hour supply important because of what I said here. This is resistance, support, with support again. So now when you take a trade, yeah, you could have used this 45-minute supply and you could have caught an opportunity, but is that really are you really going to find an A plus setup there rather than waiting for the test up here, which obviously it just stalled up here for the rest of the day. But look, look, this was a 45-minute supply here. So here we had formed a 45-minute supply on Monday, and I this wasn't here because that hadn't formed yet. But this 45-minute supply there, I had it marked as a level of importance. It was like a dark red because of the same thing I had just said right now, where it held as support resistance here, support here, support here, resistance, resistance. So the next time it came to test this 45-minute supply, this becomes the super important level. So in pre-market, it started rallying into this 45-minute supply. So going into the open, I believe this is why I wanted to look at your book map. I think I asked you about this one too, Gabriel.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to screen capture because I feel like I did it, dude.
Right here, that 45-minute supply I had just mentioned, and linking with that, the yesterday's high was like right above it. So
Like,
yesterday's high was right above my 45-minute supply. So when the market came into that level, clearly it held as a perfect point of resistance. But the whole reason I'm saying this is because when you come to this 45-minute supply, which is not at a super important level based off of structure, we didn't have the kind of clean rejection. It was more of a whipsaw. And yeah, you can find opportunity here, but is this really a A plus setup as far as structure? Maybe in order flow, you did see a large outlier up here and it did reject, but with aligning with structure, it's not really A plus. Rather than if you would have taken this short on what was that Thursday or this long. Well, this long would have been hard because it's later in the day, but I'm just saying, based off of structure, like really emphasize where your A plus setup is.
yeah, for sure. And the thing
Um,
too, those
no,
market
go ahead.
talks, those things too with those market talks. I feel like Aristotle's trend lines are on point, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Very,
I'm trying
because
to get.
I even drew a trend line, but I was using this tap here, and when I used that tap, it kind of threw my wedge off a bit to be up here, and I was like, is it really gonna retest up there? I don't. It wasn't really right. It was somewhere else, but it wasn't exactly where I just had it right now. But then when I aligned it with these two and this bottom one, it tapped perfectly, and I was like, "What the fuck? How do you know?" Like,
That's what I'm
where?
saying. He literally said it's gonna hit that the bottom of that trend line, and it hit perfectly, and it dropped for a few
Yeah.
days. Like
That,
he was in
and what's
foot
hard
swings.
is there wasn't a supply zone here to base it off of because the drop was just so aggressive there.
Yeah, he got into foot swings at the highs.
Yeah, I think he's still in them too.
Fuck,
He's riding it down to down here, I think.
that's
But
fucking crazy.
Um, so that, like just looking at the structure here right now, I feel like this 45-minute. What the fuck? My power just went out, I think. That's crazy. Oh, there it goes. Based off of structure, I think this 45-minute going into next week, we either reject it or we pop up. And if we pop up at some point in the week, we're gonna test this 60-42 because it aligns with support down here and it was resistance here, and we took such a large push off of this candle here. So I think the next point of important resistance would be this 60-42. But what's his name? Dylan is emphasizing this 6,000 psychological level, which kind of makes sense with based off of where my important supply zone is here. So
Does look like a respected level.
yeah, I think this zone, and this zone or this area are the three levels where like A plus setups can be found.
Once we
Yeah,
see
Rather
the
than
outlier,
when you just what?
but still seeing an outlier there, right? Not
Yeah,
just taking.
obviously, yeah, definitely still need to see an outlier. Rather than trying to take a short off of this 3 hour supply or this 3 hour supply. Not to say that those won't work, but just for the probability aspect of like because another thing I did was I've done this with you, Eloy, where I realized like with $1,000 account, if I'm risking 2 to 3 points on every single trade, I really only have 58 to about 83 trade attempts before I blow my account. If I lose every single trade with the 2 to 3 point stop. And
Did
thinking
the
of it
math.
like that, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm really limited on how many trades I could take. So if I do take a trade, I want it to be of highest probability that it can be.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
It's
So
risky.
just
that's what
those.
I mean by slowing down my approach to the market.
Yeah, but the hard part is that once trading starts, we throw all those rules out the window.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the hard part.
But I also feel like I never really emphasized that to myself, at least. That like I only have about 58 to 83 trade attempts
Yeah,
to.
that's actually pretty small.
Yeah, exactly. For a whole year with $1,000 account, that's crazy. That I even.
I know.
Um, but did you happen to watch that video with Danny Trades where he talks about supply and demand?
Oh, I fucking
Not yet.
forgot, dude.
I actually hate the way he teaches, but he did mention a few things that I liked was when he talks about creating a demand zone, he goes in and he's like, okay, this demand zone, for example, he's like, if this wick moves up like into more than halfways of the next candle, he doesn't mark it. And he wants this wick to kind of like not like extend too high up and then pull back down, like just have a long wick up because that kind of tells him that like sellers are trying to pull price back down to where the candle actually ends up closing. And I've been kind of marking my zones with that in mind, and they've been hitting a lot more clear this path. But I'm also basing it off of structure, so I think that's a large part of why my zones have been hitting, even with the way the market has been. Um,
I know he puts a 50% line in
oh yeah,
his
I
zones or
I didn't
something.
really pay attention to that, but he does use it like right here. As long as it doesn't like close under that 50% line, he keeps that as a key level of
Mm, a sign
demand or
of
something.
validity.
Yeah, exactly. Um, or like I think if it breaks under and then recaptures above that 50% line, he'll still be like, okay, that's still an important zone. Uh, but just that idea of because there was one like this one for example. Obviously, I don't think you guys would use that as a demand zone, but he emphasizes how like yeah, there was a base candle there, and yeah, there was a large push, but this wick makes it very unreliable, so he would not mark that at all. Whereas sometimes, like, I start to confuse myself where I'm like, damn, should I mark that? Should I not mark that? But just from a probability aspect, like, I'd rather just not try to use that at all. But it did kind of work here in pre-market, so it's like, damn, you may miss out on an opportunity by not marking certain zones. But like I said, it's just more about probability than like, oh yeah, I missed this trade, but was it a good? Was it a high probability opportunity?
Yeah. Does Dylan have a trend line? Like, why does he say the 6,000 is so important? I get it's a psych level, but I mean, psych levels aren't crazy important. Because I feel like the 15-minute supply 1642 is stronger. I can see it going up to there and then rejecting.
I feel like he's using more this aspect here.
Oh, that little
How it
respects it.
resistance,
Support.
support, resistance. So he's like, if it holds under 6,000, then we're still good for some downside. But if it breaks above, then we can't hit that 60-42.
I can see it hitting that for sure. I don't know about the 4 hour, but 15 maybe.
And that's how he decides his exit price?
Just levels of interest depending on
Why wouldn't he
what.
use that 60-11 first?
It's not a key.
That's
Yeah, exactly. Like when I say structure, always look, like we've said, to the left. This 60-11, yeah, it is a 3 hour supply, and yeah, it is the zone. But if you look to the left, here it disobeyed it. Here it disobeyed
Like
it.
extend it real quick, and then wait, extend it.
extend it to the left.
Yeah, extend it to the left.
But I just didn't extend it far enough.
Oh, I think you did.
No, it just says extend to the left on that little screen. Let's right click it.
What the fuck?
It just says extend to the left. Down. Nope. Right click it again.
Oh. Bro, you're about to drop
And then
it.
right there, extend to the left right there.
Oh, what the
I
fuck?
never even saw that. I always use edit.
Crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. And extend the 15, 60, 42. I just want to see.
Oh,
Nah,
fuck.
Yeah. So look how clean the 15 is respected versus how clean the 3 hours respected. It's what the 15 minutes is way cleaner than the 3 hour one is.
And by clean, you just mean how it just taps it and then does its business, regardless if it's to the up or to the down?
Yeah, like notice how each tap on the 15 doesn't pass it by much, and it stays relatively close to the line itself. Whereas the 3 hour, notice how in the beginning of it, towards on the left hand side, all the way to the left, yeah, it passes it by a lot, and with those shit little candles, then comes back and respects it a little bit, then passes it and respects it. It's kind of like, and then drops all the way down, and then it's kind of like dirty, you know? It's kind of like messy, I should say, compared to this clean 15-minute.
Exactly.
So the 15-minute is way stronger if it's clean like that, because it's super respecting it. It's like the candles can't even pass it that much whenever it hits it.
And even with this big drop, when it popped back up, it still respected that area.
Yeah, perfectly. And the 3 hour look at that. All that jumbled mess and the consolidation, all that stuff. It's not as clean. So if you have levels that are that clean, like the 15, those are usually the key levels. Especially if it's previous support and then resistance multiple times like that.
So going into this 3 hour supply, you may want to short it because, oh, it's a 3 hour supply. And it may reject, but it may only just be like a small rejection, and then it'd be one of those supply zones that it just breaks through, which then it comes into the 60-42, and that happens to be the one that it actually wants to have the large move off of.
Yeah, that's why I can see price hitting up that. And then if you put a trend line, a downtrend line from the highs, I feel like it'll intersect that.
I just don't know where to line it up with. I mean, these three are probably the best.
It has to be right there, but it's going to be around that area too. It looks like it's going to be around that area.
Here.
Yeah, we'll see.
And that's if it breaks this area first.
Yeah.
And then another thing which like goes more to order flow that I thought was super dope that Carmine explained was when he talks about how when the market comes back to retest the outlier, he gives it about 4 to 6 points of buffer room on the retest. Do you guys remember that?
Right. What do you mean?
So say you have, let me pull that up.
Hey, you guys think Bitcoin's gonna drop or past 100,000 again?
Uh,
It created a supply zone, a
it
daily.
did create. I
Yeah.
haven't seen like over the weekend, or I mean over the this past night or recently.
No, when it went to its highs at 108,
At what time frame?
the daily, on December 17th, a Tuesday.
Oh, the small little
Oh wait, no,
baseline.
I'm talking. My bad. I'm talking about December 25th on Christmas. Created supply, a daily supply. My bad.
I do see it. It's a small ass base though. The
It
thing
is.
for me is I was watching that video that what was that guy's name, Eloy? The black guy that they interviewed on EYL?
Just recently?
Yeah, the one you had mentioned where he talks about crypto.
But
Fuck, I forgot the guy. I think his name's like Chris or something like
I
that.
don't even
But
remember in their names.
he talks about how he feels like there's still another move left. But then I also don't. I don't know. That one's hard for me. I
Another
do
downside
see
move.
what?
Another downside.
No, like
Or no.
another leg up.
Oh, before it drops.
Yeah. But it seems like we've made a huge ass move already, but I don't study Bitcoin enough to like know how it moves like that. Like if you look at from the 2020 move, it pushed up, consolidated, like how it's consolidating here at the trend line. Oh wait, you guys aren't even looking at my chart, my bad.
It looks like a Head and Shoulders patterns for me. I know you don't go by patterns, but it looks like a bearish. I think to raise a little bit more and then drop. Hopefully.
See here how we had this aggressive, oh maybe it happened. See how we had this aggressive push and then it consolidated and then pushed up, pulled back, and then here it consolidated before having that large push. I feel like, but I didn't
Yeah,
realize this
their
because
trend lines look clean as fuck, man.
the way
Damn.
it's holding this trend line is blowing my mind. That's
I
what
know, dude. It
makes
looks clean.
um.
Damn, that looks clean.
But once it breaks this trend line, it's done. That's when I'll be like, okay, it's down from here.
Oh yeah, for
Until
sure.
then, I feel like it may test that supply zone to be honest.
It looks like a Head and Shoulders. I think it's gonna go
Oh
down, dude.
yeah, I do see what you're talking about. Right here, the
Yeah,
shoulder that, and then
Head
forming
and
this
Shoulder.
shoulder.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it could be.
and go a little bit higher and then go back.
Even Aristotle, the way he explained the head and shoulders on Spy, although it's also there on ES. Fuck, I'm trying to share my other screen now.
So you're learning patterns now.
Just based off of what Aristotle says, like I haven't like gone to go look at them and whatnot, but when he
That's the reason I
explained it, I'm
started
just
too.
like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Like here, the shoulder, then the head, and then this shoulder. That's why when he said it would retest this trend line and drop, I was like, oh shit, I do see that.
yeah,
And then he's now saying this is a neckline right here of the head and shoulders. I'm
yeah.
like,
It
damn.
has to drop that.
Yeah, when it drops this, then I guess this 2 hour would be something. I also realized there's like these little pockets with the zones where like for example, this neckline that he's talking about, which I marked as a super solid zone, which it has been respecting. Once it breaks this, I feel like based off of the way this looks, the bottom of this support now becomes the next key level
Why,
to
based off what that looks though?
because this
That
was
looks.
resistance once, twice. It held support here, took a large push off of it. When it came back, held that support again. Yeah, it
I mean,
broke
that's
here and yet it pushed, but
clean as fuck though.
Yeah, it's like very solid there. So I feel like once it breaks this, yeah, I could hold this 30-minute for a day or two, but I think this is really the zone it would wanna try to
See,
get
but
to.
see, I'll see this shit too, and sometimes it works, but I want to know, like, go back to Aristotle's uh puts, his drop that he called. He says he got in shorts at the top, but when does he get in? Because
And
I want to, I don't understand that.
I think with those, he's doing those longer,
Yeah.
uh
Oh wait, is he doing like years?
no, I think he's doing like a month out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you do a month out, you can lose so much money if you don't time your entry
Oh,
right.
yeah. Because yesterday I was actually, I wanted to ask you, how d you paper trade on Robinhood, right?
Robinhood, yeah.
How the fuck do you do that? I couldn't find where to go on a paper trade.
Oh, it's not actually paper trading. You just go to trade options and then pick whatever option you want to use and then add to watch list and then watch what happens with it.
Oh, I thought you were, like, initiating a trade. Fuck, I was, like,
Oh, no,
trying
no,
to
no.
do it
No,
myself. I
no.
couldn't find it. I spent, like, 2 hours trying to figure that out, to be honest. But I was looking at if you were to buy SPY options off this long here, if you were to buy SPY calls off this long here, it would have cost you about $600, but you would have been up 135% in one day.
Wow.
I was like, yo, that's about $1,400. Like that would be your profit. 1,000. Well, not exactly because you put 600, but
That's what I'm saying though. Like, when do you
that's what I was like,
enter?
where the fuck would my stop be? If it's down here at this wick, that's like
Yeah,
almost 30-point stop. I'm like, that sounds crazy.
I know. I don't understand the entry because I'll add a like a contract to my watch list on Robinhood when I enter a swing, and then just after a day, I'll lose so much money because I mistimed it, but it'll still go my way, and I'll be like, "What the fuck?" These price swings are kind of crazy. They're super different.
Yeah, it is. It is different.
It's way different than day trading.
Because here I don't even know where his stop would be.
Yeah, I don't understand that shit. It's completely different than day trading. It's like a whole nother beast.
I'd low key have been like, damn, how does he charge monthly for his honey drip? Or
Yeah,
is it
I
like
think you can go on a trial for like $30. That's what I did.
um I just wanna see what he's because like he'll say stuff on YouTube, but I wanna see like what he's saying when he's about to enter the trade.
It's pretty much the same shit. I'm
But
in
does he give
long.
us
I think he'll give you the reason, but he ultimately says it on YouTube. You're gonna be paying for the same information pretty much. Because I
no, but
remember going,
does he say where his stop is? Because on YouTube he doesn't say
oh
where his stop is.
no, he doesn't. He didn't say where his stop is.
Damn, this guy's crazy. I hate teachers sometimes.
I know.
Um oh yeah, but with order flow, uh
Good session on market structure though.
what?
This is a good session on market structure though.
Oh yeah. Um Carmine was saying that oh, this one's not a good example actually. I want to look for a pullback to the outlier. That one's not good either.
Oh, it's a good ass trade.
Should I start like a new video?
You can. I didn't even realize you were recording.
Come on now.
Forgot about that. Don't say anything. Don't say any gems yet. Let us know when you're recording again.